But then Bron Breaker, one more thing. The main event was for the Intercontinental title, Finn Balor and Bron Breaker. And Finn's not all that interesting, but he's a hell of a technician. And I want to see how Bron was coming along. And Bron is now the de facto babyfaceness because he's cool and the people know it and they're impressed by his physicality and the dogs barking and the whole thing. So he didn't really have to turn in any fashion or save anybody or change himself as much as just these obnoxious heels, the Judgment Day, were able to get under his skin. And now people are with him. And again, they had this match. He's right there for everything. He's got the timing, the facials, the body language, the look, the aggression. He's got the trademark shit, the clothesline where he leaps over the desk and takes them with him. And the leaping Brakensteiner. And they did a nice finishing sequence, but it was back and forth, but logical shit. And Bron hung with him. He needs to watch the punches to the head. He's using it as I'm waving my arm and backing you up because I'm about to shoot you off and do something big. He needs to have more contact on his, and more wham and more oomph, more snap, whatever they call it, on his punches to the head. But otherwise, boom, boom, boom. He went for a superplex. Carlito distracted the referee. Dominic pulled Bron down off the superplex, but he accidentally crotched Finn at the same time, and Bron nailed the heels off, hit his Brakensteiner leap off the top, and speared him 1, 2, 3, and got a big fucking pop. And they had a good match. And then here's the bad part. And Brian, tell me what you think. The heels jumped Bron, started getting heat on him, and music played, and here came Penta. And Penta hit and started a comeback, and then Bron got up and speared Carlito. And the heels bailed, and Penta and Bron had the stare down, and Penta handed the belt to Bron, but then they stared at each other. I don't want to see Bron and Penta. That's going to be a styles clash. Bron is not experienced enough to deal with some of the unorthodox shit that he might encounter on the fly in the wild with Penta. What do you think?
And that was teased earlier in the night after Penta beat Kaiser. He said he wants the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I want to see it. So we'll see if it works or not. You're probably right and it won't, but I certainly want to see what they're going to do. You know, the only thing for me missing with Bron Breaker, you know, it's almost for me, the way it feels, it's almost like an AEW run where he's having these matches and he looks impressive, but there's no feud. There's no reason to care beyond, like, I don't know. He's established who he is enough on the main roster. I need like a really good feud with really good heated promos or something.
Well, but you know, in all honesty, right now, I think they don't need it because there's so many guys on top and there's so many guys involved in something. As long as they keep Bron, it's like the Hippocratic Oath in booking. First, do no harm, right? It just keep him good and get him more experience. He's so young. We've got a belt on him, but they don't need the Intercontinental title to draw at the B show anymore. And they don't need anything really. They've got so many numbers of things hot on top, drawing, new star breaking through. They can take their time. They're not beating him. They're not making him do stupid things. They're featuring him whenever he's involved in something. It's usually to something about it gets him over, but they're not rushing it. And I don't think they need to. So that as long as you can make the people still want to bark and still want to see his shit, and every time that they do say they see the freakish hitting the ropes at 25 miles an hour or whatever, and as long as they're letting him do that and not beating him, you know, consistently, I think he's got all the time in the world.
Well, so did they, but they went about 2.5 hours. That was Raw on Netflix. And of course, Jim, Bron Breaker.
Yes.
Bron Breaker comes from a wrestling family, as we all know. A family that has to work out, that has to make sure that they're ready for the ring, and one of the key ingredients is protein. And the way you ingest your protein is important. You want to do it the delicious way. You want it to be something that tastes great. I'm a big fan of Orgain, and I think we could tell the listeners all about our fine friends, the delicious friends at Orgain.
They're delicious. I've tasted every single one of them, ladies and gentlemen. That one guy in shipping, he had a little funk on him, but he tasted all right.
Delicious products is what we were implying.
Oh yeah, the drinks. They're good too. You know, again, the Steiners, you see the protein, you see that they work out, you see that they take care of their bodies. They're muscular freaks of nature. It's all about, you don't want carbs and sugar. That leads to all kinds of things like gaining weight and getting fat and having spare tires and diabetes, heart problems, organ failure. You never know what obesity can do to you. You need less of the bad stuff and more of the good stuff. And our friends at Orgain have more of the good stuff and less of the bad stuff. There's only like 1 gram of sugar in one of these fine, delicious drinks, but there's 30 grams of protein. That's why they call it a 30-gram protein shake. And it tastes just like a chocolate milkshake. That's why they call it a shake. But it's not bad like when you go to the ice cream place and you pull up and it's the drive-thru and the girl comes out on roller skates and takes your order and you want a chocolate shake and fries and tater tots and jalapeno poppers, and they bring you this shit, and just as she gets to the door, she hangs the tray on your door and the glass falls out. And then she bends over to pick up, and you reach down and you grab her by the ass. And then they call the cops. You don't want these things to happen to you.
No, don't do these things. We don't want these things to happen. What we want to happen is people try some delicious Orgain and have it sent right to your door. Don't interact with the public more than you need to.
So that's what you need to do. Don't worry about the girls on the roller skates, and don't worry about breaking your car window out and eating all that fat food. You order the Orgain to be sent and delivered directly to your home, and you get the protein because you're looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle. People, everybody in the world is looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle because the alternative is death. So you can all say you're looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Orgain helps you do that. Do you need muscle support and recovery? Well, guzzle a couple of these bad boys and you'll be popping out biceps like Popeye. Or at least triceps like Del Wilkes. You can fuel your personal best with Orgain, and you can grab one of them and go. As a matter of fact, well, sometimes you need to pay for it if it's in stores. You can't just grab it and go from the store. Then they will call the police, and there will be some punitive measures taken against you. But from your own home and your own kitchen pantry, you can grab it and go to a workout, or get in the car, or go sit out in the park and watch the squirrels and drink the squirrels like Orgain too. If you like to feed the squirrels, you ought to see the muscles these squirrels get when they drink the Orgain.
Let's just focus on human beings.
I left a half-consumed Orgain out in the backyard last summer, and when I went back out there the next day, it was completely gone. And I'll have you know that I saw a squirrel carrying a Dalmatian off.
I'll have you know that there was no verification of this story. And again, Orgain is for the humans.
I didn't have time to take a picture. Yeah, don't let the squirrels have it, because those son of a bitches, and then they'll get nasty and territorial. I'm afraid they'll kick your ass.
There's no proof. There's no evidence. There's no examples that can be cited beyond the one that was just cited. Let's focus on the living and the humans, and let's focus on Orgain, Jim.
Let's put our sights on good health, because remember, folks, there are no quick fixes. When it comes to your health, you got to get started now. You got to do your best. If you want more protein, less sugar, less carbs, more oomph in your life, give the Orgain 30-gram protein shakes a try. Right now, if you go to Orgain.com, that's Orgain, Orgain.com/Jim, and use the code Jim, you're going to get 30% off your order. That's like if you get 10 shakes, that's 3 of them for free. How can you hardly beat that? Orgain.com/Jim. Use the code Jim, 30% off your order. Get, the more you get, the more you save. So if I were you, I'd take out some bank loans. Really stock up on this day. It's so good, they may outlaw it.
Just focus on your disposable income and your income for food and get Orgain.
Well, I can tell you where you can
let's stop. No, let's not.
You can dispose of some income over at Orgain.com.
Once again, we love them here. Jim loves them in his own very special way, but you'll love them too. Them being their drinks, Orgain's drinks. Orgain! What's that one more time website promo code? Help Jim.
Yes, Orgain.com/Jim. Use the code Jim, 30% off from these fine, good tasting employees.